Hello, everyone. Welcome to Valley Home Sun TV. I'm Debbie Giordano, along with Todd Flesner.
Hello, everyone.
We have been co-hosting the show for just about a decade, and it's been a lot of fun. The guests we've interviewed and all the things that we've been able to uncover about the beauty of Milpitas.
Yeah, it's a great place, isn't it?
It is a great place. We've been around a long time, so have I. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, no, so it's a lot of fun, and we have a guest today as well that knows a lot about Milpitas, is involved a great deal in our community, and so I'd love to get a chance to introduce Larry Ciardella to folks.
Great.
Larry, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Larry.
Yeah, we're going to get a chance to learn about you, and in the process, a lot about what's going on in Milpitas and opportunities for folks to be involved. So maybe just start out and tell us a little bit about maybe your background. You've been in Milpitas for a while, but where did you grow up, and what brought you here to Milpitas?
Well, I'll tell you, the first 4 years of my life, I grew up on a dairy in Palo Alto.
Really?
And in the 40s,
Uh-huh.
my grandfather used to come over here and cut hay for the cows.
Oh, no kidding.
So
this was all flatland.
yeah, it was all flatland. Yep.
Uh-huh.
And then I grew up in Menlo Park,
Mm-hmm.
and went through high school and some college, and then. Actually, my senior year, I met my wife. She was a junior.
And you're celebrating 50 years
Yep,
anniversary.
this Friday is coming up.
excellent.
All right.
Uh-huh.
The actual
Congratulations.
day, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I moved to Milpitas, God, I think October or November, it'll be 50 years I've been here.
Well, and you've been here a long time. So what keeps you here? What do you like best about the
Oh,
area?
I like the community, the people.
Uh-huh.
You know, as a kid growing up in Menlo, I used to walk downtown because we lived close to town, and I'd run into people we knew, and
Mm-hmm.
this is what happens here in Milpitas. You go to the grocery store, and that loaf of bread and that quart of milk, you end up spending a half an hour in there talking to people.
All right, well, maybe you do. I'm still working. I know you're retired, so maybe I'll get there. Go ahead, Todd.
You are officially retired, but you'd never know that when we, talk about what you're up
I know.
to these days. But talk to us a little bit about your working days, your professional career. What was that? You were a businessman?
Yes.
Okay.
I had Ciardella Garden Supply.
Okay.
I still do. I go in to work for a couple hours on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and my cousin David is running it right now, and he's doing a great job. And again, next year we'll be celebrating 60 years.
And that's landscaping and
Landscape supplies,
Supplies, yeah.
Soil and rock.
so you've seen some ups and downs with the economy
Oh,
and the
yeah,
droughts
sure.
and other things.
Sure have, yeah.
Now, 60 years in business, I'm sure you've seen quite a few. We could spend a lot of time talking about that, I'm sure, just in and of itself. But that business is over on the peninsula,
Yeah,
right?
it's over in Palo Alto.
Okay. Well, let's jump into what I know you best. And you volunteer work. Of course, it's not here on our notes, but you were awarded as Citizen of the Year
Yes.
last year, and that was really great. And so let's dive into what community work that you do. Let's start with the Spring Valley Fire Department. So, which you're uniformed and
Yeah.
tell us about that. What your relationship is with the department, and what do they do?
Okay. Our response area is in San Jose and Milpitas. We cover about 200 square miles up there, all the way to the Stanislaus County line. And we've got about 62 members, of which support and firefighters. We've got about 42 firefighters.
So those are the hills just east of town here.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
all the
where
way
you're
to-
at, Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, those of us who live in that neighborhood really appreciate the value of the volunteers and the volunteer fire department. And this is an all-volunteer crew.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the volunteer fire department also takes on a critical role, I understand, in training those who are aspiring to get into fire
Yes.
service. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think there's something new going on with that too.
Yes, there is, and I'll give you a little. Well, even before what has happened to us this past year, OSHA requires us to be trained, just like the Milpitas Fire Department or the Fremont Fire Department, any city fire department. We have to be trained just like they are for OSHA.
Same requirements.
Same
Yes.
requirements,
So
yes.
we were talking offline, so what is this new training center that you've got?
Oh,
coming
God,
up?
we're so excited, at least I am, anyway. We're very fortunate the school board has given us permission to use the old Airpoint School.
Okay, and that's
And that's
located
up-
right next to the golf course up the hill?
Correct, yeah, just the next driveway past that.
Okay.
Wow, that's great.
And I totally invite anybody, if we're there, come on in and say hi.
Well, I know I've been by there, and that parking lot is full a lot of times.
Yeah.
So it's busy.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We've opened it up to other fire departments
Okay.
to do their classroom work, and
So now, is that only for volunteers in the department, or is it for folks who are aspiring to get into fire science, or?
well, yes and no. Normally, our trainings are a couple of nights a month, and these guys want to be firefighters.
Mhm.
And, so they're training with us to learn. This way, when they get hired, like 4 of the guys just did here the last 6 months, and they've gone to San Jose and County of Santa Clara and a couple of other cities. So I'm excited about those guys being able to have a career like that.
So you're a great training ground to get
Yeah.
people started.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
Terrific.
Okay, so another hat that you wear in the community, in fact, that's where you and I
Yeah.
first met
Met,
as
yeah.
planning commissioners.
Yes.
So, and you currently still serve
Yes,
as a
I do.
planning commissioner. Thank you very much for that dedicated service. What kind of project, how do you see the growth of the city? We know it's had explosive growth of late, and the direction it's going, and what's your sense in that in the community?
I think it's still going to keep growing. I really do. We've got, a hotel project that we're going to look at tonight. We have another project on Main Street that we're going to look at. So, I think it's going to keep going.
So in other words,
I really do.
businesses still keep coming into the
Oh,
city?
yes,
and
yes.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, good. All right.
So, but now, obviously, you must not have enough to do, because I understand you're going to become the president of the Milpitas Rotary Club this next year.
That was by default. I don't think he nominated himself.
They held me down.
I don't think you were there the day when we appointed you.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, tell us about that responsibility. What does that include?
I don't know yet. They're just going to hit me a couple of times if I do something wrong.
Tell the folks, you've been involved with the club for many years. What does Rotary do? What is the
Oh,
function
we
of the
do all
community?
kinds of projects, and then, it's the big thing is the polio. Like they say, we're that close. Well, now we're about that close.
So,
Because there's only been 22, last year there was 22 cases of polio.
That's worldwide. isn't it?
Worldwide.
Worldwide, yeah.
So it's an international organization along with just being local.
Correct, yeah.
And I know we've had lots of participation in the schools. There's the Interact Club in the Milpitas High School. It's just active in our Rotary Club.
Oh, yeah, the interactors and the kids that,
scholarships that the Rotary Club
We
does.
do,
and
yeah.
sponsors.
Day.
yeah, fishing day,
Yeah.
that's another one.
So
That's going to keep you busy.
we're going to keep you on track with that.
Okay.
What do you enjoy most about being in the Rotary Club?
Oh, the first time I walked in there, I probably knew 3/4 of the
Yeah.
people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You know
Yeah.
that. It's just amazing.
yeah.
So I said, I got to join these guys.
So I understand you also do some volunteer work with the Kiwanis Club as well.
Yes, yes.
What sort of projects does Kiwanis do in that? And how is that similar, or how is that different than Rotary?
I think we do about the same thing. We give out scholarships to kids, and
Uh-huh.
they have what they call it, I forget the actual name of it, but it's an ongoing scholarship. So if the kid does good the first year,
Uh-huh.
we give them the funds to continue their education in the years ahead.
Well, don't
Okay.
they do the shopping spree? Isn't that?
Yeah, they do
I-
the
I'm
shopping
just-
spree. They raised money at the Kiwanis crab feed,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
which was very, very successful.
For the
You could-
schools.
For the schools, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, yep.
So good.
Okay, well, next question, I want to keep this thing going, is Chamber of Commerce. You've served on their board.
Yes.
And I think it's important, especially you being a business leader, independent businessman, to give back to that board, to that chamber. Why do you think it's important to be a business person and give back to the Chamber of Commerce? What are the assets for that?
As a planning commission, I feel it's my responsibility to help businesses survive.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I approve it doesn't mean that, they're going to be successful. So I think the Chamber of Commerce is very, very important.
Sounds like that's a practical application of what you do in your other roles.
Right,
in the
yeah.
Planning Commission.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Good. Well, Larry, you got a lot of things going on. What are some of the goals or things that you would like to see accomplished?
Other than taking his wife out for the 50th
Well,
wedding.
yeah.
Chris, I hope you're watching this. So we got you covered.
Family. That's
I
big.
know that's important to you.
Yeah, that's important to everybody.
Don't you even have a granddaughter that's in the fire?
Yeah. My granddaughter Christina, she's in the volunteer fire department.
Following Grandpa's shoes, huh?
Yep. And then my son is one of our assistant chiefs also.
Yeah.
So,
And we hear you got promoted.
yes, I did.
And that's assistant chief to the volunteer fire
Yes,
department.
very shocked that it happened.
Well, good. Well, along with that appointment, there was another milestone, I guess, that they recognized with that as well. Tell folks about that when they gave you your pen as the assistant chief.
Oh yeah, I was just like I said, I was shocked, and my son and my granddaughter had talked, and my son said, "Well, Christina, you go ahead and do the pinning." So she did.
Nice.
Awesome.
Good.
All right, good.
Well, Larry, thank you so much for taking the time away
Oh yeah, for sure.
today and coming in, and we'll be putting on the Spring Valley website on the screen for any viewers to see and log in if they want to get some more information.
Right, and
Okay.
they can contact you or Spring Valley if they're interested in volunteering.
Sure. Yes,
Or
for
find
sure.
out more about the training programs.
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
Terrific.
If I can just say a couple of things
Yeah,
about
well,
the training center that I'm
yes.
really excited
Yeah.
about. We have one classroom that's furnished. We've got 33 chairs and the tables and the overhead projectors and a couple of TVs in there. And then we've got the other classroom that I have to read my notes, that is going to be our simulation lab.
Okay.
And we're going to have video conferencing in there, so it'll be all, we hope, kind of high-tech. So, especially for these young kids, I think it's going to be great.
Terrific. Well, good. Again, thanks for joining us and
Oh, yeah.
filling folks in on a lot of what's going on around Milpitas. There are a lot of things that people can get involved with, and you've been a great example that Milpitas is a great community to really be able to make a difference in.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
And you guys, too, for what you do.
We
For
love
sure.
it. Thank you.
Yep.
All right.
The following is a public service announcement test to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before you head out on the water. Let us begin. Are you a pelican? Does this look like your house? Is this your idea of fishing with friends? Do you use your feet as fishing hooks? Are you your own boat? Do you have webbed feet? No, I mean like a... That's the one. Do you want this in your favorite lake? Yuck, yike. No thanks, mister. Regardless how you answered, you need to be licensed and registered because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at takemefishing.org.
Welcome back. You're watching Valley Homes on TV. Oh, I forgot to tell folks, Todd, We're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m.
So tune in.
So tune in. There we go. So let's see. We're in. This is the end of March. So we've got a good first quarter in.
Correct.
Of the year. What's been going on in the financial markets this first quarter?
Well, we've started to see interest rates rise a little bit. So the highest we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years at this point in time. Historically, still good,
Yeah.
but they are up a little bit, and so that's being driven by the overall economy. The employment numbers have been very, very strong.
Okay.
So a lot of people are working. The other thing that's happening is the Federal Reserve has been in the background, kind of pumping the market, holding it up during the economic malaise that we had after the implosion. They really infused money into the bond market and brought interest rates down. They wound that program down. Then they've been in a cycle of what they just call repurchase. So as old loans pay off, they would purchase new loans to replace those. Well, they're phasing that out now, and we're going more into a more normal sort of supply-demand market, which is a part of why interest rates are starting to go up.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I think we're about 4.5% maybe?
Yeah, 4.5 to the high fours.
High fours.
Mm-hmm.
So has that affected many of the buyers that you've been working with and their ability to qualify?
In this area, demand for property is so high.
Okay.
And I've not seen the interest rate increase be the issue that really has prevented folks from looking at getting in property.
All right.
If they're motivated to get in, typically they're able to find a way to make that happen. Affordability, I think, overall in the long run is an issue, of course, in this area. Right? What's the percentage of the folks in our local community that can afford to buy a home?
Well, and I think I would agree with you on that note. I had an open house this past weekend. Had 130 plus families through an open house for a $1.2 million property. So there's plenty of people looking.
Yes.
Just like you said, that demand is huge. But I know back in the minds of some sellers that I do talk to that are thinking of what timing to put their property in the market, thinks that the rising interest rates could, knock out some of their potential equity power in terms of selling in. I'm not seeing that. Do you?
No, I think the thing that I'm watching more carefully, I think if we have a strong correction in the stock market, that's going to be more a predictor of property values stalling.
So you're seeing a lot of the buyers that their down payments are coming from the stock market?
Their stock portfolio,
stock
absolutely.
Portfolio. And of course, we've seen a tremendous rise over the past year, which is they've been able to spend that stock money, market money.
That's correct.
Very readily.
Well, and the tech industry has a way of compensating its employees where they get to participate in stock of the companies, and the tech stocks have done very well. So this region has really benefited from that more than perhaps other areas of the country.
Okay.
The Seattle area is another tech-centric area, and Seattle is on fire as well. They're having the same issues there in Seattle that we have here.
Okay, great. Can I talk about some
Absolutely.
MLS numbers? All right. So we're looking at single-family home price a year ago in February 2017 of $1,007,000, and that's jumped up to last month $1,210,000. So a good $200,000 bump, and the median price went from $925,000 to $1,180,000. And then this is what I found interesting: the condo market. Now this is finally leveled off, but we had a price of $691,487 average price in February 2017. Guess what the new price is last month? $941,000.
Oh my goodness!
$846.
So the condo market's been on fire.
Condo market's on fire. $810,000 median price to $1,050,000. But I talked about that property that I just put into contract yesterday, and the bid was $350,000 over list. So again, we are going to see the single-family detached homes really expand in pricing. You're going to watch that.
And, and Milpitas is a very attractive community for, for
Yep.
the tech sector and for
Yep.
families to be living in.
Great commuting area.
Mhm.
BART will be now scheduled to be opened up in 2019. So that should, be a good, that'll be positive for the area.
Mhm.
And the schools are good. We just heard from Kelly King, and
That's right.
we got wonderful schools here.
We have all the ingredients for a great community for folks to live in. Plenty of jobs, great places to shop and eat, and and recreate, and all the things that you look for in great quality of life. And
Yep.
weather most days is great too.
Yeah. It's
So-
a little rainy today, but that's okay. We can deal with it.
So we think we have a pretty good place to live. Right?
Yeah. All right, Todd, give folks your contact information if they want to reach you.
Yeah, if they want to reach me, have questions for the show or about financing in general, T. Flesner at opusadvisors.com.
Yep, and for myself, it's Giordano DJ at AOL.com.
Terrific. Well,
Okay.
we're glad the folks have joined us.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.
In a couple weeks.
We got some great guests coming up. So
We do.
Okay, thanks.